Hi, I'm Tiffany Brooks.
And I'm Tyner Brooks.
And we've been with First-Centenary since about February of 2020, meaning we first visited in person a couple of times right before everything shut down. And so we really have been here, honestly, in the beginning, a lot virtually. And it was about June of 2020 when I finally reached out to Will and said, hey, if this were normal circumstances, we would have already introduced ourselves. And so we were able to go out with him and Christina and actually meet folks face to face. They got us plugged into a Sunday school class, which we began joining via Zoom. And so honestly, probably the first year of being at First-Centenary, we were online and we were, it was a part of our weekly routine of folding laundry, watching church, and joining with our Sunday school class, the Haven Sunday School class, via Zoom.
So when we were looking at churches, one of the big things was always children, the children's ministry. And so for us, especially with First-Centenary, is we just love how open to ideas and being willing and just the love that they get. And so it's one of those things where the volunteers that are with them in their classrooms are phenomenal. We just appreciate that ultimately, that our kids are getting loved on no matter what, and they're also learning about Jesus at the same time.
And I think it was the first time we were looking for a church and our oldest had a say in the process. We only were able to visit a couple of churches a couple of times, but she was pretty opinionated about where she was going to end up. And pretty quick, she was like, I want to stay here. I want to go back to that one church. She connected really well with Miss Beth and the other leaders, but we want them to be in a place where they're taught how to read the Bible, how to read scripture, and honestly taught how to question. And so that's our hope, is that they'll continue to learn about God, about His love, and how to understand His word. What gives us hope about the ministries here at First-Centenary, for me personally, is I really feel like if you're passionate about it, there's probably a place for you somewhere here. I've really enjoyed plugging in with the students over in the youth ministry and getting to work alongside of Tori, getting to know the students and understand where they're coming from, and honestly just kind of journeying with them. And anytime I'm with them, it gives me hope for where I see us going. Kind of hearing them question, hearing the things that they're asking us. They ask really good questions, and it makes me excited to think about the ways that they're growing. And then the biggest thing for us since day one has been Haven Sunday School Class. It's a place where we have received support, we've built lifelong friendships, but honestly at times we've cried together via Zoom even. We've been able to be vulnerable and challenge each other on what we're struggling with in our faith, maybe the way we understand scripture differently, and that's been welcomed. And for us, that's been a huge difference. And so all of these kind of moments in the ministries we've plugged in here, we have felt supported, we've felt loved, but honestly, we felt accepted, and that's just been a great opportunity for us. But it gives us hope for where we're going as a church and the way we're going to love on people in our community. And
that's expanded out. I mean, that not only just the youth, but with Mustard Tree, missions, all of that.
The Abide.
The Abide starting up is just a phenomenal, especially for that age population. It's such a critical piece. I used to work in the field, so I know it. It's one of those things where like just a little bit of respite. And so just having those ministries and where the church is headed is just a great thing and encouraging thing for us.
I love that we're centered on loving people, and that's whether that's the local church or internationally. And so I really do think that that's one of the things our church does well, is saying how can we come alongside of people no matter what you're going through, where you're from, and if there's a place you want to get plugged in, there's probably that opportunity for you.
Yeah. So when I think about the overall church, not just our local church, but our global church, and what the church is offering the world, it's one of those things where so many people just say, oh, we need to just offer them Jesus, which is true, but it goes so much deeper than that. It goes beyond that. It's offering them food, offering shelter, the basic needs, or just education. All those different things is really just fundamentals of what the church should be and what a lot of things in our ministry locally we do, but also across the globe. And so that's really where I see us going. I see us just continuing to foster the basic needs, and then us as well offering Jesus as part of that, because it goes back to a statement, you know, people don't care how much you know until they know you care. Mm-hmm. So
I think this is one of those challenging questions for me, because as a counselor, especially with working with LGBT youth, at times I've seen where the church has hurt people. So my hope is that we can continue to learn how to disagree with one another, how to love people well, how to come alongside and meet those basic needs. And as a church, this is something we can continue to grow in, to be able to offer hope to those who have been hurt. You know, hurt people, and every church has it. And I think as Christians, sometimes we get that bad rep for that. So I'm hoping as a global church, we can continue to work to change that and say, how can we love people well? And I know I keep saying that with every question, but I think if we can always look back at loving God, loving others, that's going to give me hope about the global church and about Christianity in general. And so my hope is that that continues to be something we learn how to prioritize and how to come together even when we disagree with one another.